Hi everybody, I'm Steve with FPS. I'm going to go over the scheduling or calendar part of FPS. If you go over here to the navigation point, it's the calendar, and this navigation you can resize and bring whatever you want and collapse it this way, or you can use this to show fewer or lesser buttons and add and remove buttons. So right now I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger, and we'll go click the calendar. The first thing on the left here, we have a calendar that this part reacts to, and you can also drag appointments into this to reschedule, etc. Underneath this calendar section, we have the resources. These are the planners. You can hide or show them all and compare whatever you want to do. And then over here we have the working area. Up in the menu, right now we're on day view. We can go to work week view, month view, timeline view, and Gantt view. Those are all the views available. The calendar selector also creates views. If you highlight 2 weeks, it's going to go to show you those 2 weeks. If you highlight the work week, it should bring you into a work week view. Just select a single day, it'll go back to single day view. Highlight it all, will be like a month view. So let's go back to day view. Let's go over the ribbon area, the menu area up here. Calendar has 3 different ribbons. The home one is all your main controls. New creates a new appointment. When you click that, you just type in whatever you want. This is a new one, and whatever else you want. And since I logged in as Eddie, that's who I want. I'm going to assign it to Steve though, and put a test in here. And if I want a reminder, I can click that. Anywhere up to whatever, several days. Put a 15-minute reminder on it. It's set for July 1st, 2013. Save and close. And there is my new one that I just created, and this reminder just popped up since it's actually in the past slightly. So I can either dismiss it all. There were several items listed here. You could dismiss all of them in one fell swoop, or you could open that particular item, or you can dismiss one item at a time. Since this one is highlighted, I can dismiss it. Or if I click snooze, it will stop alerting me forever long I want. I'm just going to dismiss this one, get it over with, and it takes the reminder out of it for you. Let's bring that back up. There's also several other things I can do with it other than the reminder. I can make it an all-day event or not. I can show it as tentative and label it as, let's say, important. This will change the background color. Save and close. And it gives me the little barbershop stripes there. I can also right click it right here and change whatever I want to it. Show time as out of office. And notice the red bar to the left now. I can also edit this appointment by selecting it and dragging it to other locations, and that will set the start and stop times. I can even drag it over into another planner over here. When I bring it up, look at it's assigned to Ed now. I could take this appointment and say, oh, I want to keep the same thing, but except I want to move it to July 4th. And notice we're on the July 1st, but if I click July 4th, now you'll see that appointment is there. Go back to that appointment, open it back up again. If I want to make it a reoccurring appointment, it's pretty straightforward. I can do it daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. Weekly, I can do it by day, or I can recur every number of weeks. Monthly, I can do it by the day of the month or the first Thursday, etc. There's several options. Yearly, pretty simple if you want to make a reoccurring appointment. I don't on this one, so I'm going to click cancel. This also has spell check in it. So if you spell check something or spell something wrong, it's going to say new one, ignore, and test. I want to change that back. We'll just change that. Oh, spell checking complete, and save and close. Back up to the buttons. We covered new recurring appointment. It's the same as a new appointment except for it sets up the reoccurrence first. Cancel out of that. This other item's available, so you can always add a new contact, a new appointment, new note, or a new task, no matter where you are in the program usually. Backwards, forwards. Right now we were on July 4th, so this moves it one day at a time, either direction. Depending on, if you're on month view of July, this will be a whole month at a time that it'll move. Notice over here it's showing different months. And if you get a lot, you can always click go to today, and it will go to that day. Let's go back to day view. And there we are again. Zoom in, zoom out. It's kind of handy if you want to show more data on the screen than what you're currently showing, or you can zoom in. Some of the views don't have it available. Month view does, etc. Back to day view. We already went through all the different views. Refresh. This is important. If several people in the office are using Calendar and everyone's putting in different entries and they walk by and they're like, well, you don't show that on your computer. It's just like an internet screen. It's not going to sit there and keep updating the database across all users. You have to click refresh and it will reload the data and refetch all the data that other people have done throughout the day. So if you think your view is getting a little bit stale, or somebody said, I just entered an appointment, what do you think of that date? And you don't show up, just go up here and click the refresh button. Then you have your grouping. Take away the grouping. You can group by date and group by resource is what we were doing just a minute ago. Calendar options. There's a whole list of options for your calendar. The day settings, you get to pick the start date. Right now it's set on Sunday. That's where Sunday over here on the left is the first day of the week. You can change that to Monday. Click OK. And Monday takes the spot over there. Let's go back to calendar options. I don't really like that, so I'm going to put Sunday back. And then you can select what visible times to show on the calendar. 12 a.m. This is for like 24 hours. Month view, show weekends. That means the weekends will be there or not. Compress weekends. Display time. In the month view, this is, you can display times as little clocks or actual text. The little clocks will look like the correct time. Date Navigator. That's the calendar over here on the left. This is the Date Navigator. If you want to show week numbers, you can. And you can also decide the week number rule. The first week, is it going to be the first day, the first full week, or the first 4-day week? Because sometimes the first week's only a couple days. So there's a couple different rules we can use on that. Then your work week view, you can actually, this actually shades the calendar a little bit depending on your work days. And you can still show the full work week or not. In other words, your off days, it will show them. Or you can turn that off and only show your work week during the work week view. And on the other settings, it'll still show the full week. Then you can set your work hours so that they are shaded. And if you show all hours, if that's deselected, the calendar will only show your working hours on this work week view. If you have this selected, it'll still show all hours, but your work week hour, or your work hours will be shaded different, a little slightly different. Your appointments, you can change the way the editor is. This one is with spell check. You can do a simpler one without spell check. It's slightly faster. Time zone, I would leave this set on to use the Windows time zone you currently are set at. If you travel, you can switch to a different time zone. But leave it set at this until you've set your computer to be using UTC, Universal Time Coordinated. FPS 3 was set up using local time. So if you are using an FPS 3 database, you want to keep this on use local time zone. If you're not using an FPS 3 database, I would recommend switching over to Universal Time Coordinated, UTC, and then keep this set on it, and it will cross-verify. In other words, it'll save things in UTC format. Then when you travel to a different location, you can just, and you switch time zones, then everything will be updated in your calendar. You know, if you had an appointment at 3 a.m., or I'm sorry, at 3 p.m., and you were on the West Coast, and then you flew back to New York, and you switched your time zones to the East Coast, all these dates will reflect that new time also, without editing the record at all. Print options. There's a lot of print options. Let's go over them real quickly. Each view basically has different styles of print. You've got your trifold, daily, weekly, monthly style. Trifold is where it actually looks like 3 different columns. You can define different styles. It gets quite elaborate. You set the paper source, and you can set different rules on your resources. Everything is set pretty much for default settings, unless you want to do have more control over the printouts. Then I would come in here, and I'm going to do another video just on print options, since they seem to be a little bit more complex than what most people are expecting. And that covers most of the calendar settings, except a complete print option breakdown, and that'll be forthcoming. And the print options brings back up that same print options screen. And anytime you want to print or preview, you just click those particular buttons. The other sections over here, calendar options, that brings up the same option screen. This brings up the print option screen. This makes it easier to set the working hours, etc. Just different ways to set things. This is a time scale over here on the left. You can use it to do it like this. If you want to look at 30-minute increments, or you can right click here and switch your time scales also. And customize the time ruler, change views. All this just from the right click in that zone. Snap to cells always, auto disable. That's when you're dragging cells around. What are they going to do? Then you have all your day views again. That's a repeat, and the refresh button is a repeat also. Appointments. Once you have an appointment selected, then you can delete. Split an appointment is where you split an appointment into 2 different times, or actually into 2 different appointments. Let's actually create a new appointment. This is KKK, and we'll make it until 5:30. And close, so it's a little bit bigger. And then we'll select it and choose split. And we can cut the scissors, come up there and split it, and it split it in half, and now I can drag the other half where I want it. These are just a repeat if you want to control how the time is. Is it going to be too busy? Same with the label, or you can right click appointment and show the time as, and label as, and delete. Set a recurrence, reminder, and then this is repeat of the views, week, work week, day view, month view, etc. And a repeat of the refresh button. And that is the calendar in a nutshell. You can always click in the calendar anywhere you want and start writing an appointment. Go to work. And it's done. It's pretty straightforward. If you know how to use Outlook, Calendar, or any of the current calendar systems, you'll have no problem using this. That's all for now. Thanks.